Hello and welcome into the SorareData show. I'm Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Today I talk about something I've been battling with all week. And I'm going to use today to talk through it because I don't know how I feel about any of this. And I try not to make these shows a lot about me, although Friday is always about me. So we'll get there. But I'm hoping everyone here in the chat and anybody who is watching after in the comments can help me work through this because I don't know, it's a little weird. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming in. The good place first in. Where's the money clip, Laird? So many dollars. My money clip couldn't even hold it. McGettigan, what's up? How are you? John Andrews on the podium as well. Mike Baston, no money clip, no party. Yeah, no party today. Olaf fifth is basically a podium, right? I don't think so. That's right. Laird o'clock. Thank you very much, Mike, for that. Kev Hurd, what's up? Parrot Press in the house. Surface, what's up? Nils, appreciate this. Alex, a show that isn't about rivals, pinch me. Yeah, no rivals today. This has nothing to do with rivals. So I'm not going to, yeah. Nope. Vita, long time. Good to see you. David Alves, hello. Anion, excited to finally catch a show live and also for my first Champion Europe Rare Game Week. Let's go. Let's go with that one. Oh, Quinny's in the house. What's up? Alex, cash can help you buy a house. Oh boy. So we'll get into cash. Ian, what's up? Ian. So I've been trying to work through some things in terms of how I play Sorare and how I think a lot of other people play Sorare. And that's why I need other people like those in the chat to help me through this, because I think I have a view of how most people play Sorare. And it could be really arrogant for me to think that. And so I need everybody here to either say I'm right or wrong. So this is it. Oh, Red or Dead, what's up? Recom, is this another Sorare meetings with the head of ideas? Maybe. So really what I was thinking about was, it fundamentally was two things. The first was this conversation that we've been having kind of a while ago on this channel. Andy kind of was the first one to bring it up in terms of like redistributing thresholds to other competitions so that you could win cash in other comps, and that just focusing on cap 240 right now for threshold. Sorry, let me change this. Is not, so basically so that people can like expand out from that. And I took some time this week to kind of look at how much money is distributed through thresholds, and then basically trying to figure out a blueprint of like, hey, here's how it could be distributed elsewhere. So that if you finished 428th in Challenger Limited, maybe you win a few dollars. And while I was working on that, I was also talking to Gator Guy about the Premier League winter competition. And he has a new season Liverpool collection that he's, I think, mostly been using in the Premier League comp. And I asked him what he thought about the Premier League comp, because I haven't been playing it, because I generally don't buy cards for specific competitions. And I realized this was a different one because obviously it was much longer term. But at the beginning, the prices I thought were just so outrageous to compete that I didn't get in. And then I had kind of recently started thinking maybe I would get into it because prices have come down, because obviously the utility is less and you have fewer game weeks to compete. And he said something that kind of hit me a little bit. And he was like, it's just really unsatisfying in terms of the game to win cash. And I thought that was really interesting because he definitely prioritizes the threshold. And I know other people who not only prioritize the threshold, but prioritize All-Star because there are more places that pay out in All-Star. And it made me think how little of this game is about winning cash, even though it's all that we want to do. And so I've been battling with this, that obviously the threshold in any scarcity is what provides a lot of the liquidity in the market. And so David said, need to pump cash for cards to be worth anything. So I'm not at all saying that we need to like take cash out of the game. And I don't want that to be what people get out of this. But the way that so everybody competes for the threshold right now. And like, that's what everybody's like, that's my priority because I want to win cash. At the same time, there's a good number of people that talk about wanting to win, or the money that people win in threshold just gets recycled into the platform. And that not that many people are like winning thresholds and immediately withdrawing every week. And so fundamentally, we want to win cash to buy the cards that we want. And I'm not saying that the point is that like we should all just win the cards that we want, but it all comes back to the cards. And what Gator Guy was saying to me in terms of like, it's just not that satisfying to win the cash. Like there's that was purely in a game, like a game excitement standpoint, that when you open a reward and you're just like, what is this? And if it ends up being a card that could be very good for your lineups and you're just like, wow, that's a nice surprise. I didn't know that this guy even existed 20 seconds ago. And now I realize he's the best player on the third best team in Peru. And you're like, wow, sweet. That card might help me win more things later. And that's basically what I've been thinking about, that it feels like so I'm going to go to the chat here. So, because Jonathan said, I couldn't disagree more with whoever this guy you're chatting about with. So the satisfaction of winning cash in Sorare is more that now you can go get what you want, right? That you can go buy a card that you want, but it comes back to the cards, doesn't it? And if not, maybe I just am completely wrong, but it feels like the cash accumulation in this game is not mostly about withdrawing and going out for a nice dinner or for a holiday or for whatever. It's about getting better cards. And if I'm wrong about that, that's fine. But I don't think I am. And so I look at it as you either win cards you want or you win cards that have a certain value that you can then sell to help you get to the cards you want. And it's not an immediate process. Maybe you have to win 10 cards and sell those to get the one card you want. But fundamentally, it's about improving the cards in your gallery so that you're more competitive in the game. Which again is like, well, that just lets me win more things that are worth more. But again, you're just like pushing up to better cards at that point. And so surely at some point we all want to withdraw tons of money and retire off of it. But it doesn't feel like that's it. That's the game is to win. The game is to have the best cards. And I don't mean like the easiest way to play the game is to have the best cards, but like you are doing well in this game when you've won you've won enough to get the best cards. And most of us will never get the best cards. And so, but the game and the process of getting better cards and better cards and better cards is literally what we do every week. And the cash component is obviously important to getting those cards, but it still comes back to the cards, doesn't it? And so the way that I was explaining it to someone else is outside of the threshold. I think a vast majority of people submit lineups and never think about the cash that they can win with those lineups. And I'm going to have a really hard time being convinced otherwise. And I'm not saying that they don't know that they could win cash if they finish in the podium spots. Because right now, outside of All-Star and Champion Europe, most people don't. I mean, even in those, most people don't win, but it's just the podium spots. So 3 people in each competition. And then it's like 100 or so in All-Star and in Champion Europe. When there are tens of thousands of lineups every week, most people are just playing for card rewards, realistically, again, outside of threshold. And isn't that the game? And then we want to win cash so that we can make those lineups better. And maybe the idea is like, oh yeah, then I'll be able to compete for cash, which is literally just podiums. I feel like I'm talking in circles because my head is in circles about this, and I'm just not quite sure where I'm going here. Mike Basson, do people now want to win cash because cards themselves are not as valuable, regardless of whether you get one you want or not? So that, yes. However, I think the reason you want to win cash now is because you realize it goes so much further in getting the cards you want. Like, I still don't think most people are like sitting on a bunch of cash in their Sorare account. Like, they win cash and they spend it. Like, that's how most people play, I think. And so the reason why cash is more important now is because it's literally more valuable. Like, if the cash that you win from your threshold used to get you, again, it's like a $50 card, and now you're basically only having to pay 30 for that card. The cash feels more valuable, but you're still using that cash to get a better card. Stefan said, what if you could choose tier, number, or dollar when you reach a threshold? I think it makes sense, but I don't think we're ever getting there. Golden Goal says, I prioritize the threshold to get more money to spend on better and more players to enter competitions I can compete at a high level with. Right. So, like, fundamentally, that's what it's about, I think. And Alex said, satisfaction of cash with a small gallery will always be a bigger win for me. But, like, Alex, are you using that cash to buy cards then? Or are you just accumulating more and more cash? And if you're accumulating it, why do you keep it in Sorare? Or maybe you don't, and that's the point. And maybe I'm completely misjudging the number of people who win thresholds and go buy whatever they want with it. Could be just groceries. Jonathan B said, I already plan on what I'm buying even before rewards day with cash. Cards I just wait and pray I don't get fucked over. Right. So again, we're like back to it's the cards that matter. Anion said, yeah, I like my gallery value increasing, but I wouldn't think about withdrawing for a while. Parrot Press, to win or buy better cards to win worse rewards. But are the rewards worse, or are they just valued less? And I think that's fundamentally that's different. Yeah. Shaforkal, hello. Mike Basson said, you've had a very deep, thought-provoking week by the sounds of it. It's not very deep, but I've been thinking about it a lot because I fundamentally was like, hey, maybe I should buy cards to play the Premier League comp to win some cash. And I'm just like, I'm going to be using cash to then win cash to then go buy cards I want, which are not Premier League cards. So, like, why am I doing it? And yeah. So Patrick, so this is fundamentally the issue. He said the vast majority of people can't win cash with those lineups. Right. But, like, the game is not about that. The game is about, like, finishing as highly as you can in the leaderboard. Like, that's what fantasy sports are about. Finishing as highly as possible. And cash theoretically can help you buy the cards that allow you to finish higher. Rikomon said people play for card rewards, but they equate those cards with a cash value. So I'm going to push back on this because I think it's only half of the equation. That people play for card rewards and they equate the value of that reward to cash. And then they think about what they can buy with that cash. And do I want to, so I was talking with someone who is not in the chat. Sometimes he is, but I won't say who it is until he comes in and says it's all right. But what they were saying is that they started looking their gallery in terms of Kimmich, or their cards in terms of Kimmich rare multiples. And instead of looking at how much his card was worth in dollars 1 year ago, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago, it was just how much was this card in relation to Joshua Kimmich rare. And fundamentally, that changes the entire outlook, because now what the cards are worth, like if the multiple is the same to a Kimmich rare, and not that like Kimmich rare is the best card on the platform, but it's like, I think most of us would like to have one. Then the value of rewards obviously matters. We obviously want everything to be worth as much as possible. Like, I'm not here to like be like, don't worry about it. We want them to be worth as much as possible. But if like what you're winning helps you get something better and the multiple is basically the same, obviously the cash value, like winning cash now, it's essentially winning like better cards. But like the cash goes further, excuse me. I don't know where I was. There was another thought there and I just gone. Kev heard, I only sit on cash in account if I'm saving for a card. Just spent all of mine and have rare and limited thresholds coming tonight for the next target. Again, so you play to win cash in order to get cards. Which I think is fine. It's what we all do. But but are you really, so like fundamentally we all want to win cash, but we don't actually want cash. And that's what I think is weird. Like you win the cash so that you can go spend it on something else. And it's not something else out in the world. It's to buy more JPEGs. And fundamentally, not fundamentally, but the irony of it is that we are using that money, most of us, and this is not everyone, because I know like I'm thinking of Bob Flynn immediately, and I'll explain that in a second. But we win cash in order to buy better cards for the competitions where we're highly unlikely to win cash. And the only reason I thought of Bob is because I know Bob is just looking at his next like 240 target and he'll use it on that. So yeah. Olaf, and I apologize if that's not Olaf, but I don't know how else you would pronounce this name. But he said, if there was never cash rewards, would there be any fewer users? I don't think so. So that's actually basically an argument that I had, that, and this was a discussion with a fairly big gallery that does like think that they can win every week. And they were like, if there were no cash rewards, I'd leave. And that's when I was like, yeah, but you're not winning the cash. Like you're not using the cash for anything else other than to continue playing the game. And it just, I'm spinning in my head. David said, you need to embrace the casino factor. Give us $5 and watch us punt $10. Add more money to pro and money to rivals, promotion, relegation, or 1v1 tournaments. That's easier said than done, though. Parapress says, depends on scarcity. Super rare comps, for example, are worse. I forgot what I was talking about when it came to that. Like the rewards are worse? Jonathan, if you add a fee to enter 240, it would be massive for Sorare. Increased revenue for Sorare while helping to ensure users keep money on the platform. For example, $5 to $10 to enter rare. I mean, I think that's the idea with the new season cards. Like instead of actually paying an entry fee, you're just buying a new season card, because entry fees, I think, from a regulatory standpoint, it's closer to gambling. Yeah. Golden Goal said cash is just the tool to buy more players. Kev heard at rare level, yes, priorities cap 240. At limited, I usually enter as much comps as possible, aiming for cards. But like, isn't the goal, and Kev, I don't know if this is your goal, but is the goal with cap 240 rare to then start buying rares and playing them in other comps? Bazar said, my long-term goal is to one day withdraw my initial investment and still have teams that win thresholds and cards. The cards I've won have improved my gallery, except the DMP ones, of course. Well, those are just, they haven't helped yet. But I think what this goes to, not back to, because I haven't mentioned it yet, is there's a very big difference between this game, about Sorare being a game where you can win money, and Sorare being a platform where you can make money. And once you've decided it's a platform for making money, I think you lose perspective. Like, I think most people play on this platform because it's a fun fantasy game where they can win money. And once you've decided it's a place where you make money, that's all you see. And everything you do is to maximize how much your gallery is worth or how much your wallet balance is. And it ignores that most people just want to finish first. They want to play a game and enter against a bunch of other people and finish first. And obviously the reward for finishing first is great. And, you're happy about doing it, but almost everything you do on the platform is aimed at eventually getting there. And then when you get there, you want to do it again, or you do it somewhere else, in another competition. But it's all about getting better cards. And winning cards to sell to get better cards is not as easy as winning cash. But that doesn't mean that people are specifically prioritizing cash. Like if cash was that important to everybody, those competitions would be the biggest ones, and they're just not. Like people still play regular competitions in order to win other cards, because that's the fun part of the game. That's the game we're trying to win. And that's why I haven't tried to, like, I could have done the Premier League one. I just didn't. And it's mostly because I don't find winning cash to be as fun as winning a card and being able to get pissed off when it's a DNP and talking to you guys about it. Nobody wins $50 and they're like, yeah, can't believe they gave me 51s instead of a $50 bill. See, it's just not good content. Kev heard the goal is at rare is to farm thresholds to buy better players to improve my gallery and ultimately enter all-star rare and better comps. Thresholds won't always be my priority. Thresholds won't always be my priority if I obtain better cards. I think that's how I think a lot of people look at it, but I'm just not sure. Yet. Jonathan said, would it be class as gambling if you had to buy SO coins to enter, but only buy these coins with the Sorare shop, like FIFA points, 10 SO coins to enter one? I think that's gambling, yes. But I'm not a regulator or a lawmaker. Anion said, I think that's actually one of the points why prices drop, because people win cards they don't want and try to get cash as soon as possible and sell under value. So that doesn't totally hold up, because people are trying to sell that card as quickly as possible in order to buy another card. Like they're not selling it as quickly as possible and just being like, I'll just hold this cash for a little bit. Like it can't be like, if it's a bad card, then yeah, people are going to sell it because it's a bad card. But you can't say that prices are going to drop if people are selling cards to then buy other cards. Like some cards will drop, sure, but others will have to go up. Carrie said, safe to say I won't be withdrawing any cash until I start playing super rare. Probably in 5 years is my hope. Currently trying to move into rares. But like, Carrie, like withdrawing the cash to do what? How much cash do you think you're going to win in super rare? And so like, I don't know. P-Doc, got my first ever win this week. Cap 270 rare. It's exciting to see what star I'll get. First off, congratulations, P-Doc. Second, are you upset that you don't get any cash for winning that? Service said the EPL promotion, I think, was a little lackluster in retrospect. 500K over that period of time was not really that much money, and thus just not that exciting. But it was a lot more than you could win regularly. But again, like Surface, I feel like you are in this group of people who have made enough money on the platform where it's not, well, that too, but that you submit lineups and think you can win it or finish a podium, and like that cash is the high finishing spot cash places are in your range of outcomes, in a reasonable range of outcomes. And I'm not saying for like every lineup you submit, but you get to a point on this platform where you're like, oh yeah, so if I finish 5th in All-Star Super Rare, like I'll win a few $100. And so you go with that. But like a vast majority of people on this platform are not remotely close to thinking that. And maybe if you did it from a value standpoint of like all of the whales that account for 70-80% of the value on the platform, then they all consider when they go in every week, like, yeah, I'm going to podium, so I'll win this cash. But like, I think fundamentally most people play for cards, again, outside of threshold, and like that's the game. And the threshold is just there to fund the game, fund you playing the actual game. It's almost like a side game that allows you to make money to play the real game. Does that make sense? Sorry, I got a killer dry throat today for some reason. Olaf said, I joined Sorare when Common was more similar to the current Pro. I now play Limited to scratch that global fantasy itch, but I would still be playing Common if I could, just because the game is fun. That old Common game was fun, I guess. At some point, we all just had the meta cards as the problem. Or maybe it's not the problem. Maybe that was fun. I remember putting out like sick U23 Common lineups. Like, obviously, they were just in the All-Star, but it was like, oh, here's a U23 team this week. So, yeah, I just, like, how much of your experience playing Sorare is about winning cash in order to use that cash for something completely unrelated to Sorare? And it kind of reminded me of DFS or even like some sports betting that, with DFS, like you deposit a certain amount of money, most people lose, but they keep playing for the chance of the, big prize. And if, they go through their deposit, then they just throw another deposit in. But it's all about just like playing the game. And I don't think Sorare is fundamentally that different in terms of we just play the game every week. And for most of us, it's a game that we can enjoy, and there's absolutely money involved, and falling prices absolutely sucks, and none of us want that. We would much rather buy a card for $5 and have it be worth $8 in 3 days and $800 in a month and a half, but it doesn't work that way. But really, all of this is about cards and lineups and competing against other people and doing it in any way that you want. If you're a huge Burnley fan, shout out to Adam from Make It a Double Double, and he wins like some huge reward with his Burnley stack one day, he's fucking pumped. And because not only can he sit there and be like, not only am I first, but I'm here with my fucking boys here. Sorry for cursing, but he curses a lot, so it just felt appropriate. And like that's the cool thing about Sorare. You like so many ways you can play, so many ways you can win, and I don't even know how much money you win for Champion Europe Limited. Anybody know? Let's see. This is this game week. Somebody this week in Champion Europe Limited will win $365 if you finish first. That's cool. What do you got here? Moochie? Don't you think Sorare could simply open some leagues or change the system to S11 and create a big boom? I do not. I don't even know what you mean by open some leagues, but I think SO11 is not. No. I think there's a wonderful simplicity to SO5 of you need 5 cards and you just let's go. And 11 leads to further up the scales, leads to whales winning so much more. And I don't think people appreciate that much more. Mike Basson said that somebody will not be me about Champion Europe. Why not, Mike? I mean, if you didn't enter, then that's why, but I didn't enter. I don't have Champion Europe cards really. Or at least not enough. But yeah, so like fundamentally, isn't it more or not I feel like I use the word fundamentally a lot. But do you guys think more people on the platform play to win cards than they do cash? And if not, what are they doing with that cash that they're winning? Like I think the threshold, like people win or build threshold teams in order to make either their threshold teams better, which at some point you can't because you have a 240 cap, which is why like cards of elite or values of elite cards haven't taken off. But where was I going with that? Oh, right. So fundamentally, it's all about like, competing with your cards to win the best cards or winning the most valuable cards to get rid of them so you can buy the valuable cards you want. But it's like, it still comes back to the cards. And I suppose competing for cash allows you the easiest path to get those cards that you want. But it's just not that fun. Like that part of the game is not fun. I don't know. That's literally all I had to think about today or talk about today. Mike Baston, can we just say that at different times in anybody's Sorare life, their priorities can switch between cards and cash depending on their own game and market circumstances? So the reason I struggle with saying that their priorities are different is because the priority, it always seems like the end result priority is always better cards. That sometimes you want to, if card prices are really high, you want to win cards so you could sell those cards and get other high value cards. And if card prices are low, you want the cash because that goes a little further in getting you your cards that you actually want. And that's the struggle I'm having here. Alex said, I think maybe some people who play for cash and withdraw just stay quiet about it because they get hounded for just farming and not putting back into the platform. I mean, play it your way. I don't think there's anything wrong with winning cash and withdrawing in any situation. Like if you came here and you're like, yeah, I'm really good at fantasy football. I can make money doing this and I'm going to use that money to do whatever, go on a vacation or buy an apartment. Like you do you. But I don't think that's a majority of people. I actually think it's a very small percentage of people. And that includes big, whales who win a ton of cash and never withdraw because they just want to use that cash to make their lineups better. And some of them may be holding on to the cash for any number of reasons. Maybe because there's a gigantic announcement that's supposed to happen soon, and who knows what happens after that. You don't want to, spend 3 ETH on a card. Well, I don't know if any card is 3 ETH now. Oh, sure it is. You don't want to spend 3 ETH on a card, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, turns out this card is worthless after this new announcement. Who knows? But yeah, so it's like the whole thing for most people, I think, is about just getting better cards. And right now, cash is the easiest path to those cards, but it's still about the cards. Mike Bass, I'm looking forward to the summer now, as my Friday drinking game will be take a shot every time you say fundamental. Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying it. Fling Flong said, I have 2 watch lists, Elite Europe and Mid Shit. Both Champ Europe base. Elite Europe is decreasing at double the rate of Mid Shit. I think that's because of Cap 240. Kev said, I agree. Farming Threshy is boring as hell, but it's nice to hit that $50, especially as I find it tough to do so often. I agreed. And actually, the boring comment, it's funny you say that, reminds me of, I forget who, I actually never knew who it was, but when they took all the rewards, the card rewards from Cap 240 Limited and put them in the Cap 270 Super Bonanza or whatever they called it, that seemed to have disappeared after 1 week. Whoever finished first in Cap 240 that week was like, wow, I can't believe it that I get this monster score when there are no rewards. So like they won $5 for scoring 490 something points. And obviously that's an extreme example, but like that's what you wanted. You entered that competition knowing that $5 was the absolute maximum you could get. And I think that's not the exciting part of Threshold when you smash it. And it's not exciting being like, yay, I scored 281 and here we go. I'll do it again next week. I don't know. I sit here saying all of this, but like Cap 240 Super Rare was the first lineup I made this week for this current game week. It was my top priority. And then it was All-Star Rare Pro, and then it was Cap 240 Rare. Mike's asking if my therapy group here has helped. I don't know. No, you guys haven't helped me. Not at all. Mostly because I don't know what I was trying to get out of it, other than trying to understand like how most people play this game. Like cash is obviously very important, but it's funny to me because like the cash, and somebody mentioned it actually earlier. They're like, so based on what I'm describing, changing from cash to like game credits or or market credits, secondary or primary, probably doesn't change the experience that much for many people. It does when we all want to sell out and leave. But fundamentally, if the money stays, then yeah, cash versus credits doesn't even matter. Is there even a withdraw button? How do you even do it? I don't even know. So the reason I brought all of this up is because the Premier League, what is it even called? Winter competition, winter special, is the last week is coming up next midweek. Like literally this next game week is the last one. And do we think there's going to be another one? Because it was called the winter special and spring comes after winter. And if so, do we think it'll be as popular? I mean, we obviously saw prices of new season cards absolutely explode. because of the ability to win cash. And Surface was here himself, said he thought it was pretty underwhelming. And I don't know anybody who like I haven't spoken regularly with anybody who like really went after it, but I also feel like you don't see the tweets everywhere like, wow, so happy I won. I don't even know what you could win. $80 this week, $100, 200, whatever it is. Like nobody's, I don't know. Nobody's showing that off as much. Alex said, surely the whales went after it. I don't even know. I know Pranksy did. I'll say that. Pranksy for sure did. Because he tweeted about it. But he was like, look at all these cards I won. And I happen to win $1,000 or whatever it was in the unique one. The Good Place said, I think withdrawals happen automatically during international breaks. That's pretty funny. Red or Dead said, I won limited cap 270 a while ago. It was definitely the high point of the game so far for me. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's really cool. And no cash. And I assume you were happy. What'd you win there, Red or Dead? You must have gotten a star limited and you get a tier 1 rare? P-Doc said, I enjoyed the special for the Prem jerseys more. Shaforko said, I'd say the best thing that can happen is for Sorare to give us a card burn option. Doesn't matter cash or card, but at the moment, weaker rare and super rare cards, you can't do nothing with them. Even bots won't take them. That's not true. I sold one today, a super rare that I absolutely will never use. I think it was a tier 5, and somebody bought it for a collection. I probably would have burned that card, to be honest. But I don't know. Do we go after the Prem comp last week? Maybe hope that there's another one. I don't even know. Somebody mentioned they'll do one for another league. Yeah, Alex. They'll do something for another league. I mean, they have league licenses with lots of leagues at this point. Like, it's not just the Prem. Bundesliga, La Liga, Eredivisie, Jupiler, MLS, Austrian Bundesliga. Are there any others that are like full league? K League, J League, obviously. Yeah. I mean, there are 226 entrants already in the rare Premier League comp that starts like next game week. I don't know how many. I never entered them, so I don't even know how many people entered them. Eric the Red said, I won Asia Limited once and was surprised to get cash as well as the card I won. It never crossed my mind. So, like, I think that's exactly what I mean. Like, oh, I mean, maybe you didn't know, but I feel like a lot of people know that for the podium you get cash, but it's like just never a consideration, really. Red or Dead said, I won a Rodrigo Limited, which is an awesome card, and a tier 3 rare, injured and sold immediately for 95 euros. Kept Rodri. Yeah, so Rodri at 95 euros for winning Cap 270 Limited. That's pretty good. Mike said, don't your teams automatically submit for next game week? No, they don't. You have like drafts, but they're not submitted. Kev Hurd said, would think they would do the specials for the top 5 leagues until MLS, et cetera, gets underway. They don't have licenses, though, for Serie A or Ligue 1. So Mike said, I got a podium, but no cash. I got a podium in Cap 240 and got the same that the 985th guy won, plus my cards. Mike, what did you win? Podium and no cash? Or is that the podium for coming in here? I actually don't think you were on the podium today here. But yeah, so the reason why I was thinking about this is because Sorare are obviously toying with this idea of like cash competitions with the Premier League one. And if it's a success because we all want to win cash, then you would assume they just keep doing them. But if it's not, then like, is that because we actually don't really want to just compete for cash? Do we want to, or do we want to compete for cards that we could sell for cash? Mike Bassam on the K-League Special Weekly. That's fun. John Andrews, I got Podium in here today. I assume the cash will be sent directly to my Sorare account. Yeah, in hour and 14 minutes when the rewards go out, you'll get that 0 ETH from SorareData. So yeah, I won nothing this midweek, but like everything I win at this point. So I actually don't have any. I very rarely have like a list of cards I want to buy. I'm a very like impulsive buyer. And that's not like because I'm just buying for this like an upcoming game week, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, all right, what do I have to do to get a Kimmich super rare? Like it's just not, I don't think that far ahead. But anything I win now goes right into my balance that I don't even like spending my balance. That's the weird thing. Yeah. Mike Basson should give out 24 trials for people podiuming on your streams. Is that 24 hours or 24 podium or subscriptions? Surface, in consider to how much is given out in threshold, it's just too low. In rare, you have to come in 101 to 150 to basically get the equivalent of the threshold. You need to get top 20 to really feel a wow. I'm not sure you mean the cards that they give out in consideration to how much is given out in threshold, it's just too low. What's too low? Red or Dead, this week I'm entering rare Cap 240 for the first time with a playing goalkeeper. Progression for me. Also bought Jorge Brown rare for the summer. It's a good one. Oh, Surface said in the Prem comp. Sorry. I thought you were, hold on. Let me go back to that then. The Prem comp compared to threshold, it was too low. Okay. In rare, you have to come in 100 to 150 to basically get the equivalent of threshold. Is that correct? I believe you. Let's see. Rare threshold 50. Right. So you have to come in the top 150 to get the equivalent to the threshold. You need to get in the top 20 to feel the wow. Top 20 is 200. No, I'm sorry, 250. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. So if it's not enough, yeah, I mean, like, is it ever enough? I feel like the singular cash reward possibility is actually what holds it back. And the reason why card rewards are so great is because a lot of cards have upside. Like $50 you win is $50 is $50. But if you win, depending on what you can win, maybe in 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, that card could quadruple in value. And your cash is not going to do that. But that's realistically a different conversation. Daniel said, I quite enjoyed the Prem comp. So Daniel, did you enter the same team every week? I was curious about that too, because I saw people like, oh, well, Bournemouth have good matchups in here. So I'll just buy a Bournemouth stack. I don't know if that was the best way to play it or not. Again, I didn't play it, so. But it's, yeah, I guess maybe it's the lack of mystery in terms of the prize pool that's, yeah. Mike said, talking of card value changing, how is Petroli's price doing? I don't know. What? Did his team finally change? Oh, it did. Let's see. I don't know how much of this is Petroli's price changing because his team was finally updated, or that or that he has a game this weekend with an L15 of 0. Man, I can't believe I kind of ignored that. See, now I want to win cash to get a Petroli. Even fits in my collection quite well. So yeah, I wanted to kind of discuss this whole like why cash is important to win. And it's not so that we can go take that cash and go somewhere else with it. It's always about buying new cards, and that most of us compete to make better card winning lineups. Right? Maybe. I don't know. It was mostly like if you could compete for cash or cards, which would you choose? And I think right now, most people just subconsciously compete for cards. Yeah. Like most lineups are submitted with the hope that it wins better cards, not cash. Again, outside of threshold. And yeah. And threshold is fundamentally there to fund better lineups elsewhere. Patrick said cash and cards are the same thing. They're definitely not. You don't need Petroli when you have Bologna. Yeah, I suppose. I don't even know if Bologna is supposed to, or excuse me, Godoy Cruz should be good this year or not. I don't know Argentina well enough. Redder said, I invested in Prem cards after I won the Rodrigo card. You mean you bought Prem cards? That's a nice card to build around, though. It's nice that you can theoretically win the most expensive one and then fill in the rest. Yeah. You guys got anything else? I feel like that was kind of heavy. Mostly because I had no idea what I was talking about. And I still didn't really get myself to a conclusion that I was like, oh, okay. The hope is I just win something cool this week. Or lots of cool things. Thank God Argentina's back. I'll put it that way. Yeah. You guys got anything else? How long have we been here? 53 minutes? I'm happy to talk about literally anything at this point. It's Friday. We ain't got no jobs. No. Actually, this is literally my job, I guess. Bad Friday reference. Ricky said, aren't we supposed to be aiming to win So coins? One day, maybe. I don't know. I think that was one of those things that like maybe they misspoke, but also was a long-term plan. And every time there's a long-term plan, like we're like, hey, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? Reddit said I filled in with Bournemouth and Fulham while they had a decent run, one cash in the winter comp. Look at that, cash into cash. Service says, what is your number one game you're looking forward to this weekend? I never look forward to games. Literally none. Whatever my lineups need. Like the most important game for me this entire weekend, which is so amazingly depressing, is ensuring that Sporting get a clean sheet. Or that River Plate get a clean sheet. Or both. And if those two things happen, and Sporting actually don't play till Monday, and River Plate's Sunday. If those things don't happen, it's just not fun. Mike said, I dare you to actually watch a game. I'll take truth on that. Truth or dare. I'm just kidding. Although, actually, I might watch some football tomorrow. Sunday there is a hard no, but Sunday maybe. What's up, Scosmo? Thanks for coming. Better late than never. Yeah, we'll see. What is tomorrow? I got to play some Rivals this weekend. I don't know if anybody is aware of this. Let me find it if I can. So there's like this competition that I signed up to participate in that honestly, I really have no idea how it works. Let me pull it up here. It's from Argento. So rare. Here's the so basically like something called a Pandemonium Tower. People are going to play me in some rivals matches. I don't even know, but apparently I have to make some rivals lineups and people will compete against me. But there's a whole bunch of stuff you can win, including some SorareData memberships. So yeah, check this out if you want to compete. But yeah, so I have to play some rivals this week. So I guess I will watch some matches because, you know, just in case you got to make a sub or something, you don't want to be left out in the cold and a loss. But yeah, that's all I'm doing. So yeah, that's it. I was gonna do. I don't really feel like doing an AMA right now, so let's not. Let's just go out there and get it. Actually, I think the Ren lineups are coming out soon. Speaking of rivals lineups, I got to make. Since I actually have pro cards there, I'm not working on a streak at all, so I'll throw my pro cards in. I guess we have the Eintracht Frankfurt lineups, or one. Oh no, that's not out yet. Oh no, Ren lineups are still another hour away, but I'll be playing it. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Appreciate you guys helping me get through that cash versus cards or cash and cards debate in my head. I still don't know why I was thinking about that or what it even having a solution or having an answer to those questions even gives us. But it was just something I kept thinking about, that ultimately we all want cash so that we can get cards, and we use cards to get the cash. Oh yeah. Quinny's doing like a rivals show on his channel over there, Quinny 3001 on YouTube. That maybe I'll try to catch while I'm out. I don't know, but go check that out because it's a pretty cool idea. And so he might be building some rivals lineups in there as well. So yeah, go check out Quinny's channel. Again, Quinny 3001 on YouTube. If you are watching a replay of this, then that's already over also, but check it out. But anyway, thank you everyone for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to that Quinny 3001. And yeah, have a great weekend.